Hey everybody, it's Monica. Welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. I appreciate you all for being here. Hope everybody had a happy and safe new year. So happy new year to you all. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. And right away, while I can address it, if you would consider hitting the subscribe button. I notice in my analytics, I have a lot of traffic, but it's from non-subscribers. I am really trying to hit my goal to 1,000 subscribers by the time my 1 year anniversary on YouTube comes around, which will be at the end of February. So I would really appreciate it. But getting down to this video, we are going to be doing a side-by-side comparison of a DTF transfer using my Sublimation printer with one and then my Inkjet printer with the other. And the results are as I expected, and you will see that in the video later. So if you're interested, stick around, and that's coming up next. All right, you guys, here we are once again in my open office draw. I have my page set up and selected my images just to save some time, but this is going to be an A4 DTF film page, right? So I'm going to make two prints of the exact same thing. One that has a lot more black to it, and then a really colorful one, just so we can see if and how the roller marks show up on each print. Again, this is going to be one print for the Inkjet printer and the other print with my regular Sublimation printer. So I'm going to go ahead and hit print, but I'm going to do my settings here. I'm going to do my Sublimation printer first and just adjust my paper over here, A4. I think I usually don't have to do this. I'm going to go ahead and leave it on presentation paper matte. Well, you know what? I'm going to do, well, I don't really know. We're just going to test this out now, okay? So I'll just leave it at presentation paper matte, high quality, mirrored image. And I'm just going to set it at a -5 print density. And then I'm going to go back over here so I could do a print preview. That way it'll give me time to load my printer. So I'm going to hit print. Hit print. And then it's going to show my print preview. I think. Bear with me, you guys. I'm not sure why it's doing this. I probably need to put my paper in first, so here we go. I'm not sure why there's a delay, you guys. Bear with me. Here we go. And it is going to print mirrored. Remember, I'm going to do two prints of the exact same page. So after I hit print on this, the rest will be on camera at both of my different printers, one at a time. So I'm going to stop sharing my camera right here. All right, you guys, here is the DTF film I'm going to be using. This is probably the very first DTF film that I bought when I started doing DTF just to practice. I got this off of Amazon. I'm almost done with this. So we're going to try to go ahead and load this in my Sublimation printer, just the page by itself, just to see how we do. Normally on my small Sublimation printer, all I have to do is put a stack of paper behind it and it'll go. So even though this is an A4 size, I'm going to go ahead and add some of my copy paper back here, just to see if it helps feed it through. I'm not sure if it's going to go. I've never had that issue before. And here is my regular Inkjet printer. I just bought this. I got rid of my Canon. It was sucking up all the ink, and the Epson Eco Tank is well worth the money. So I invested in that. Okay. So now that I loaded my paper, I'm going to go ahead and hit print on my computer, and let's see if this will run the item through without any issues. I've never had issues with my small sublimation printer. Just putting one page, I wouldn't have to tape it to anything. But as you saw, I put maybe, you know, just maybe 10 sheets of copy paper behind it just to see if it feeds through. So let me go ahead and hit print. And the white is my sublimation printer. The black is my inkjet printer. We will see if this feeds through. Fed through just fine. You see, I didn't have to tape anything to this. We are going to do the same thing on my big format printer after I do all this comparison with my inkjet versus sublimation printer. So we'll go through this first. Hopefully it prints out fine with the settings that I did, but we shall see. All right, guys, let me pause right here and we will meet you at my desk so we can get the DTF powder on this. All right, guys, I'm using the Sendel DTF powder for this. So I will just sprinkle a little bit on here to try to get these nicely coated. Okay, maybe a little more than I expected, but okay. I'm trying to film this with my camera right in front of me, you guys, so bear with me. It's literally right in front of me, so I can capture everything. Make sure I don't miss any spots here. All right. Fairly coated well. All right, let's go back to my printer now and we will do the inkjet printer now. So let me pause here and move over to my inkjet printer. All right, guys, once again, I'm gonna pull out one of the sheets. This is the print side, so I'm just gonna pull it out, add it right here. I just moved over the paper that I had in this printer just to have something to grab onto. And we shall see if it'll feed through. I haven't attempted that. This printer is very new. I've only had it a couple of weeks. This is the first time I try to run a DTF film through here. So we shall see how it works. Give me 1 second. I'm going to hit print. All right, let's go on over to put the DTF powder on this. All right, you guys, got to do this quickly. Make sure I get everything coated on there. All right, let's go ahead now and get these to cure. So give me 1 second to set up my griddle and we will meet you there. All right, you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and set my griddle to 1. That has been my go-to because I've tried it in the past and it's warped the page. So I'm gonna let that heat up. And the first page that we're going to cure, of course, is our sublimation. I already see some roller marks on here, but we will address that once this is cured. So this is the sublimation. I'm going to go ahead and just put it on here and let it do its thing. So I will go ahead and speed through this. Once this is cured, I will go ahead and put the inkjet print on here, and then we'll get to the next step, guys. So stay tuned. I'm going to speed through this. Okay, now here is the inkjet print. All right, these are done. Now let's do a comparison side by side at my desk. Okay, you guys, as you can see here, it's very obvious which is the sublimation ink and which is the inkjet ink. Now, if I pull this up, obviously I still see some roller marks right here, and I know it's because I have a lot of black right there. This down here actually looks really good. Sorry, I'm very zoomed in, so I didn't realize. This actually looks really good. I don't see a lot of streaks here at all. There's like a tiny bit down here, but hardly nothing. It's mostly here where I have the black. But I'm just going to leave it because this is testing purposes. I knew that was going to happen with the black. So very vibrant for the sublimation ink. Now let's compare it to the inkjet ink. Not as vibrant. I did set this to just regular plain paper bright white standard print, only because I've always had, the only other time that I tested the inkjet printer, it was a hot mess. I mean, the ink pooled everywhere. So I just decided to go a little lighter on, I guess to do a true comparison, I probably could have used the exact same settings as this, but maybe for another time. But just by looking at the print quality of the ink, very different. So now let's go to the heat press. Again, we're doing this just on a sample t-shirt remnant that I have, and we are going to put them side by side, each one on the remnant. I'm going to probably cut these and then do one like these two together and then these two together just to see what they look like. Okay, so give me 1 second. I'm going to get my heat press all ready to go. And once we're up to temperature, we're going to go ahead and press these and see what results we have. Okay, so bear with me, you guys. I'm going to get my heat press set up and then I will meet you on my heat press. All right, guys, it's at 384. It'll give me just enough time to set my prints down. Here they are, all cut up. I'm going to put the sublimation ink on one side, and then the inkjet print on the other side. I usually use my Teflon sheet for this. Actually, I am, because I don't know why. I'm just trying to be careful. I just got this heat press last month and I just don't want to ruin it anytime soon. So I'm going to put my Teflon sheet over. We're going to press this at 385 for 40 seconds. And I'll speed through this, you guys. All right, Let's go. Okay. This is a cold peel, so we'll go ahead and move this over to my desk, and then we will compare the results. All right, guys, I'm gonna do this and just rip it off like a band-aid. They're cooled off now. Oops. Okay. First glance at this, obviously I like the Sublimation ink way better. It's a lot more vibrant. Obviously with heat, it gets more vibrant. The Inkjet, even though you do get results, it's not as vibrant as you can see. And then here with the just the colorful without any black, it's not terrible. This looks like it pulled a little bit. Can you see right here? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do one final press on this just to get it into the fabric. And then I'm going to do a wash test in 24 hours. And then we'll come back and look at the results of that. And then I will give you my final thoughts. All right, guys, here we are back in my open office drawer. I decided to go ahead and reprint the DTF film for my inkjet printer and do the exact same settings as I did for my sublimation printer. So here's my page. I'm going to hit print. Then I'm going to go to my regular inkjet printer, which is a 2400 series. A4 size, I'm going to change this to presentation paper matte, high quality. I'm taking off my bidirectional because that just makes it faster. So I don't want to do that. I'm just trying to match up the same settings as I had, and then a -5. Okay. I'm going to hit OK. Hit print, and I want to see my print preview. That way I can go and load my printer with the DTF film. So this will give me a second for it to pop up. And there it is, mirrored. So from here, I'm going to stop my screen share here, and I will meet you at my printer so we can get another print for my DTF film, guys. So bear with me. I'm going to load my printer and I will be back on camera to show the print and all the other steps. All right, we're at my printer. Here I have about 10 sheets of copy paper, not very much. Here are my DTF prints. I'm just going to go ahead and grab one just like that. Place it in my printer. All right, and again, I never have to tape anything to these smaller films. I just make sure I have a little bit of paper in the back right here, as you can see. That way it can catch onto something. All right, so let me go ahead and hit print on my computer. All right, guys, let me pause here and we'll get to my DTF powder. All right, here we are. Again, I'm using my Sandel DTF powder. I mean, I could already see over here where some of the ink looks like it pooled up right there. I'll zoom in here after I do the curing and everything, but well, you know what? Just so you can see. I mean, you can tell right there. This is the issue I always have when I do the inkjet printing, but we'll see. I wanted to be fair and use the exact same settings as my sublimation. So this is why I decided to go back and redo this. I need to get a scoop for this, you guys. Bear with me. All right. Make sure I coat everything. All right, looks like it all coated. And I think what I'm going to do, only because this is inkjet, I think I'm going to do this twice. I'm going to cure it, come back, put more DTF powder, and then cure it again. So that is done there. Let me get my griddle set up and I will meet you right back. All right, guys, here we are. I'm just setting up my griddle to a 1. We're gonna go ahead and set our print on here. Let this cure and we'll do another round after this cure. So I will speed up the curing process here because you don't need to wait 2 or 3 minutes for that. So I'll speed this up, let it cure. We'll go back to my DTF powder, do another layer and recure it again, and then we'll be ready for the heat press, you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and speed through this. All right, you guys, here we are. It's fully cured. Remember, I did 2 layers of DTF and cured it twice. So we're just going to get an up close look here. This is what I usually see when I use my inkjet printer. You see the pooling of the ink right there. Right there. A little bit here on the black. This is why I don't really use inkjet to do DTF, but I did want to do an honest comparison. But it doesn't look as vibrant, obviously, as the sublimation usually does once you apply the heat to it. But let's go ahead and press this on my test remnant, and then we will see what this actually looks like when it's pressed. So I'll meet you at my heat press when it's ready to go. All right, guys, my heat press is up to temperature. Here's my print. This is my sample sheet. I don't want to show the front because that's the results of the first set I did. So I'm just going to go ahead and place this right here. Maybe I should put it like this. Yeah. All right, I'm going to get my Teflon sheet. Press it for 385 for 40 seconds. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and let this cool, you guys, and then we'll be back at my desk. Okay, here we are. I'm just going to rip it off like a Band-Aid. Okay, there it is. Okay, I know it's kind of hard to tell, but all right. Not too bad, right? All right, guys, I wanted to address my issues that I've been having with my large format printer with the DTF film. Not so much the loading, but more the printing and getting the roller marks. So I had a viewer ask me how I load my large format printer. I've tried it every which way, and the only way that it works is by taping it to another sheet. So here is a 16 by 19 sublimation paper. And what I ended up doing, because I've wasted so many papers tearing when I try to take the painter's tape off, I ended up, as you can see right here, I ended up putting a strip of packing tape on the back on both sides. And then I just wrote on here DTF backing sheet. I've used this multiple times. I haven't had to trash it, so that's what I use. Here is my DTF film. Now you'll excuse me, I cleaned it off because I want to try to use this just as a demonstration purpose. I'm not going to be curing anything. I just want to show you how I load the printer. So I'm going to go ahead and just line this up. Just get it as straight as possible. And then just going to take some painter's tape or masking tape. And just get right to the edge here. About halfway. I'm going to flip it over and fold it over to where that clear shipping tape is. This will help for when you're removing the painter's tape so it doesn't tear your page. That's just what I want to do because I hate wasting product, as anyone knows. I've said it multiple times on my channel. Okay, I have about 5 sheets of regular sublimation paper back here. Here is my DTF film taped to one of those sheets. I'm going to load it in here. Then I'm going to go ahead and hit print so you can see that it goes through just fine. And it's loading perfectly. As you can hear, it's printing. Again, this is a very light print. It's just for demonstration purposes only. I'm not curing anything. I just want to show you how I load it. If I try to load this by itself, and there's my image, I purposely did it very light because I'm not going to be doing anything with this. But if I try to load this on its own, I'm going to get a paper jam error. Or if you try to put just the film by itself, nothing behind it, it's almost like the printer isn't seeing that there's anything there. I remember I did something similar where I wasn't taping this. I think it was a glitter DTF print, a large one. And I loaded it by itself. It loaded just fine, but it only printed half the page. And I think it's because it was so transparent that for some reason it wasn't reading it. So I know now when I'm doing the glitter one just to put a paper behind it to feed it through. But that is how I load this. Again, I just had, let me zoom in here and show you. I just had about 5 sheets of regular sublimation paper back here. And then the one DTF film to one of the papers. This has seemed to help a lot with when you're removing the paper from here. And I can show you real quick. Let me zoom out a little bit. It just makes it easier for me. So what I do, I just do this. And it just comes right off and I don't tear my page. And then this will be good to go. So I hope that was helpful, you guys. Now let's go ahead and turn the camera around so we can have a quick chat before I end this video. Okay, well, there you have it. I think the results speak for themselves, right? As I expected, the Inkjet ink didn't really hold very well. And I had a feeling that was going to be the case. Sublimation with heat, that is what you're gonna get. I mean, after one wash, you can't deny the results using sublimation ink versus inkjet ink for a DTF hack. But that is it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed. Yeah, just a lot of testing, a lot of trial and error, right? And I might do this again later on. It's just something I've been wanting to test out because I have seen some people do inkjet DTF transfers, but I hadn't seen their wash results for that. Just that they printed it and it looked bold. Mine wasn't as bold, but it was fairly decent. But then after I washed it the first time, you saw I looked really, really bad. So I'm going to just stick to my sublimation ink using DTF transfers for that. But that is it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, could you please hit the like button? And if you would consider subscribing, I would greatly appreciate it. I really do want to hit my goal of 1,000 subscribers by the time my 1-year anniversary comes around at the end of February. So I'm very close, you guys. So please help me out. I'd really appreciate it. But that is it, you guys. I guess I will see you in the next video. Take care, and I will see you soon. Bye, guys.